Hey, welcome to Bid Left Nut. My name is Stace Casaria. I am the host, joined by my co-host, Johnny Miata. We have an interesting show for today with some tips from John. John, what are you going to talk about?
I think I'm going to talk a little bit about detailing our cars. I
Yes,
think I think we're going to talk about some classic cars and some auctions that ended this week.
that's
I
right.
think we're going to go over some very exciting cars that I know that you're excited to share.
So excited.
And I don't know, what else can we talk about?
A whole bunch of stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about was it being spring. And so in a lot of parts of the country, known as everywhere else, it is already warm and people are driving their old cars. But here in the Northeast, we had a really late extended winter. Me more so than you. I'm in Boston. You're outside of Pennsylvania. You're in Pennsylvania. But like warm weather's here. We can drive our cars now. So I'm thinking cars and coffee soon. What about you?
Yeah, there's a local Cars and Coffee for me this weekend on Sunday. The weather doesn't look too good, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm ready to get out in my fun stuff and drive it, and I know others are too.
All right. If you're able to make it on Sunday, what are you driving?
So I think we've mentioned in previous episodes, I have a 1984 Porsche 944 that is a lovely car. It's in great shape, but it breaks all the time, and it is currently broken right now. So
Um,
I'm not driving that, but I do have a 95 Land Cruiser that never breaks and definitely has been to its fair share of cars and coffee. So that's probably what I'll drive. How about you? What would you take out?
I would take the 4C. The 4C, I'm still so excited about that car. Just I've only had it a couple of months, and I haven't really had a chance to drive it far. And it's loud as hell. I'm switching out that exhaust. It sounds like when that meteor hit the Earth and it killed all the dinosaurs.
Yes.
That rumble, that's approximated by the exhaust on the 4C. No resonators, no mufflers, just straight pipes that are loud.
It's amazing what the engineers benchmark.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I don't think they did the dinosaur thing, but yeah,
I mean,
yeah. But so on today's show, we had a couple things we were going to talk about. Um, there are a bunch of things, but
sure.
I want to talk about this auction that is ending next week for this Lamborghini Islero, which I think is a gorgeous car. It's a little bit unique in an Italian 60s, 70s kind of way. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about another Italian car, this Series 2 Alpha Spider, which I believe might be a little bit overpriced, but I'm happy to see the enthusiasm from the crowd. And then, among other things that we're going to talk about, this 430 CLK. It had
That
an interesting
auction.
auction.
Yeah,
What's that?
that I remember this auction. It's a standout for a lot of different reasons. But what stood out to you most?
A little bit of fireworks between the seller and some buyers, trolls, bidders. I don't know if the people actually ended up making bids, but yeah, it was kind of interesting. And I don't know if you saw a couple of those comments. We'll get to that, but
Okay.
a couple of the sellers' comments had been flagged as inappropriate, which generally doesn't happen when you're trying to sell something to people.
Yeah. Well, I think when we get to it, you'll see that your actions have a consequence.
They do have a consequence. That was okay. We'll get to it, but I would have bid on that if I knew how cheap it was going to sell for.
How consequential those words were. Yeah, I say we would have been bidding against one another, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Well, tell me about this.
oh yeah. So a couple of auctions I wanted to go through. This one is ending today. It's ending in a couple of hours, and it's currently on Haggerty. It's a 73 BMW 2002 Tii, and I don't know a ton about these cars, but when I was scrolling through my virtual or infinite scroll of car auctions, this stood out, and I was like, "There's no way that this blue is a factory color." And guess what, Johnny?
Is it a factory color, and can I guess the name of it?
Oh, you can do both. Question one:
So,
factory color?
is it?
It
It is a
is.
factory color.
Yes.
Is
It
it?
just
I'm trying not to look in case you give the answer. Is it Minerva blue? And Porsche, it would be Minerva blue,
no,
but
I don't think it was that. It's
okay.
turquoise metallic over a
Ah, from from the Turks, of
From the
course.
Turks. From the Turks. That was good.
I'll tell you what,
Anyway,
the first thing that stands out to me with the car in that picture is the AC Schnitzer wheels,
yeah,
um, which look amazing on an E36 and really weird here.
yeah,
Um, but I love that they exist.
yeah.
Hey,
I don't think they look amazing on any car. They're not my cup of tea. Hey, look at that. Somebody's in the Commonwealth here, Massachusetts.
you sure are.
Yeah.
Um, the car actually looks not bad. I mean, and what I mean by that is it's not terribly rusty. I mean no ill will, but Massachusetts is not known for
Oh no,
corrosion-free vehicles.
it's a shithole. There are a lot of bad cars around here.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, it's cars rust. It happens.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, without the center caps even.
I don't love the chrome plating. I don't love the chrome. Oh, look, it's so at some point it spent some time in Florida, or at least that window did.
Oh, it looks
Um,
like we have some bubbling rust. Or see those three dots? Can you see them with your, or do you need your reading glasses? I'm gonna see if we can find
I feel like I
another.
can see them.
Well, I'm gonna see if we can find a close-up shot of. Nope, there are not a lot of photos here.
No,
Huh,
today I learned that Momo doesn't only make steering wheels, they also make floor mats.
okay.
Who knew?
Do you see the bubbling?
Oh, I see it. It's what I can't see that scares me more.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I want to see the Momo floor mats. Oh, those are nice. Those are nice. Um, yeah, so that was one car I wanted to talk about, and the auction currently is at 10,250. It's got about 3 hours left to go. I'm just curious, what do these usually go for?
A well-sorted TII. I'm gonna knee-jerk reaction, right? No, zero research. You are getting the raw, unfiltered mid 40s for like a driver. I
Wow.
I think. I mean, that's again, that's my knee-jerk reaction without looking at all. I mean, this car, who knows, right? Is the engine original? We certainly know the bodywork is not
Let's take a
uh,
look. Let's take a
pristine.
look.
Yeah, let's see what it says.
Known imperfections, missing front reflectors, not installed yet. This is the thing. Sometimes people will sell the car and say, "Hey, there's some things that are wrong with it, and I got the parts in the trunk." It's. I don't think that's a bonus for me. Now you're giving me a job to do.
Yep, yep, agreed. License plate lights are broken,
Hmm.
cracked, noted on the dashboard. So is there like, does it say crack and then there's an arrow pointing towards the crack? Is that why it's noted?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Headliner has been removed in case you didn't want it, but there's a new one included in case you want that. Oh, just one speaker has been removed. Awesome.
But I
Anyway,
have it. It's right here. I like the basket weaves on these cars. I
yeah,
think they look good.
that's nice. It doesn't say anything about a replacement block or anything like that. So, yeah. So this, I don't think it's no reserve. This is going to get sold today by Carnut 43. Carnut 43 sounds like he'd be a fan of Bid Left Nut.
I would think
Um,
so. I wonder if there were 42 before him.
I wonder. So anyway, this thing's currently at 10.25. Maybe if we remember, we'll check back in next week and see what it
Yeah.
closed for. But I
Let me
say
ask you
this thing's
this.
not. What's that?
Would you buy it?
No.
Why?
For 10 grand, there are so many other cars I'd buy, even if it only closed at 10 grand.
Yeah, the 10, even if it closed at 10 grand, it's the 50 grand required to put it right.
Right.
That scares me, right? And then I have a car that's worth mid 40s in my estimation.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk about another car that I absolutely would buy in a heartbeat if I had the money?
Yeah.
Boom. 68 Lamborghini Islero. Uh, I like these. What about you?
I think you're insane, but that's why we've been friends for so long.
Why
Um,
am I insane?
these cars scare me so much. So much. Like, are they pretty? Yeah. Do I want to feel like Mick Jagger in the south of France in the early 70s, late 60s? Yeah, yeah, I want that feeling. But I just don't have the appetite for You know, my old 944 feels like it's always broken. Can you even imagine?
Look where
Like
they put the bumpers. It's gorgeous.
it is gorgeous. It is definitely gorgeous. And if you like leading with the heart, this is the car for you.
Yes.
It
Two-spoke steering
looks,
wheel.
yeah,
Generally
yeah,
not a fan of the two-spoke steering wheel, but I think it works here.
yeah. Right here, it definitely works. Look, you're an aristocrat. You buy this car, you're an instant aristocrat. You could have been eating McDonald's for the last 6 years, but you show up with this and you've got class.
Yeah. People start calling you Il Duce.
I love those wheels. I mean, I love late 60s Italian wheels. It's so cool looking.
It
It's
is.
so cool looking.
It is so cool. It is so good. There's some good conversation in. Look at this. Like your kids would have a ball back there. Come on. Would
Yes,
they?
if there's one thing that kids love, it's fine Italian leather.
It's
Wait a
true.
second,
It's
go back to the stereo for a second, because let's talk about ergonomics for a second. What we've done is we've pointed the stereo towards the ground, and this way it's a little harder to see. However, it's at a fingertips reach. You just once you reach it, you touch it, and you see what you're going to select.
I
That's
think
amazing.
I think I think when you're driving, you just kind of got to dip your head down to take a look.
I'm
Look at that.
back.
Look at this. This is the trunk made for a set of golf clubs.
Or people that owe you money. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. What?
Two oil filters?
Yes. Due. So guess how many cylinders this car has?
I mean, the proper amount, which is 12, correct?
That's right. Guess what other car in period this was also the same engine was placed in?
Is it the Mura?
It is. Also the
Oh,
Espada. I think it was also on the LS. Was it the LS 400? Is that what the predecessor to this was?
350 GT?
350 G3. Yeah, 400 GT. Sorry, I got my Lexus and Lamborghini confused, which I'll never do again. But look at this.
It's 6 carburetors.
Mm-hmm.
It's backing up. Listen, I love the car. I think it's beautiful, but there's no earthly way. I could hit the lottery tomorrow, and I'm still not like it's 6 carburetors. I can't even get anybody to look at my lawnmower that has 1 carburetor.
Yeah. Well, you didn't pull up in this. You pull up in this, and like everybody from the parts guy to the mechanics over there, they're gonna run out and say, "Madonna, questa
They're gonna
macchina,
lavish.
bella, bella."
They're gonna lavish attention on my Toro.
They will. By that you mean the car, of course.
See.
Anyway, it's currently at $99,999. But I think it's a fantastic car. Again, I don't know exactly how much these go for, but more than I can pay at the moment. I just wanted to point out some comments by FAO. So FAO, apparently he's an owner of one of these cars, and he just provides some really great commentary in here on this car specifically and on the model itself. But I don't know. That's all I want to talk about. So this is ending in 5 days, which I think is Wednesday. So definitely I'm going to follow this one, check back in. So I'm watching.
So are you going to throw a number on it today, right now?
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it.
I don't know enough about these cars. Like 100,000 seems relatively inexpensive for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but it's bespoke. It is right. It is a supercar. It's a Lamborghini. It's all the things.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would keep it on the road. And then if I can't drive it, why do I own it is my motto.
Oh, first of all, you look at it, and I mean, depending how much wine you had, maybe you go out to the garage and masturbate to it. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what you're gonna do to it?
Everybody's got their things. It's why your garage has no windows. I get it.
Guess how many of these were made?
I genuinely don't know.
125. Yeah.
125, which is an incredibly low number, obviously, and it's a Lamborghini. Why wouldn't it sell in the millions?
Correct. Because people are silly. So you know what someone's going to do? Let's say this thing sells for like 185. Let's say, actually, we're probably both way off. And everybody out there in viewer land is laughing at us. But let's say it sold for 250. This thing sold for 250, and there were like 3 guys bidding on it. Any garden variety 911 is going to sell for 250, and there are people fighting over it. You know how much that upsets me when the old cars don't get the love that they deserve.
I do, but you've totally played into my whole reasoning here, right? The
No way.
Porsche, not my Porsche, but other people's Porsches are going to run, be reliable, and you can use them as a fun car. Whereas this, we've already talked about what you're doing in the garage.
Okay, but an oil change was performed prior to sale. It's ready to go.
I can't see anything going wrong with this purchase, and I wholeheartedly endorse it.
John, the face of this car, what's it saying to you?
I'm sorry, I broke again.
It kind of has like downward eyebrow kind of look. Like it does seem like it's
sad.
apologizing.
It looks like a sad clown. It's upset. It's sorry. I didn't mean it.
Yeah. Hey, do you have any auctions you wanted to run through before we do some more predictions?
I did.
Tell us what's going on here.
All right, so let's talk about this. I found 4 Porsche 356s, and I put them all in one event. And I said to myself, all you got to do is evaluate these and put a number on them. And so at the face, that looks pretty easy, right? Because you're doing some research on 356s. But what I found was they closed for very different amounts. If you scroll down a little bit, please. So you got 4 cars, they all look the same. 2 closed at $100,000 plus, and 2 closed for under $85,000 or less.
What differences? So was it condition? Was it rarity? Was it?
All of the cars were extremely presentable, and all of the cars were drivers like ready to go.
I used to date a girl who was extremely presentable. That's how I'd refer to her. Like, this is my girlfriend. Extremely presentable. She's completely adequate.
That's good. That sounds amazing. Let's look at the 356. They're all 356s. Okay, let's look at the 1956, that black car. And so the first thing that stood out, it was a nice, clean car, but it had an older repaint in the wrong color. And by wrong color, all I mean is that wasn't the way the car left the factory. And so this paint job, if I remember correctly, was done somewhere around the year 2000, and it was supposed to emulate a car that the previous owner had owned in the 1970s.
One that got away.
The black was an okay, it's an okay paint job, but not great. And if you want to keep these cars for long term and really get the most out of them, you got to put them back to the factory color, in my opinion. So the other part of that is black is not really flattering for these cars. Again, that's just my opinion. But it did come with a certificate of authenticity. It had been long time owned by one owner.
Can I stop you there? I want to ask a question about this. So I'm not familiar with the Porsche certificate of authenticity process. I'm more familiar with the Ferrari Classiche process. But how could this get a certificate of authenticity if it's painted in a non-original, the wrong color? Because here it clearly says that the car was painted in aquamarine blue metallic, and the car is not.
Correct. But the car exists, the numbers match, you can verify through the numbers.
The car exists.
The car exists. And from what I understand, the certificate of authenticity, it used to come with a lot more information than it currently comes with. And the reason for that is you used to be able to start to fake a lot of things from a letter from Porsche. Porsche would give you everything you need to fake an original car. And they don't do that anymore, as you can imagine.
Right, to recreate a VIN, to restamp a block, like all of those things?
All of those things. And there are people there, I mean, because of the value of these cars, For nefarious folk, it makes a lot of sense, right? If you can get $200,000 more because the car is completely numbers matching and all original, even though it's not, um, some people are going to have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this car was nice, but it wasn't nice, nice. So, as a result, I think this car brought low 80s. Was this an 82.5, something like that?
Yeah, it was. It's 82.356.
Ah, I see what they did. They're funny and loaded. That's a
Yeah.
good combo. So let's bail out of this one. Let's go to the next car. And I didn't do this on purpose when I created the event, but this car is a little later. It's a 1965, last year of production. It's nicer than the 56 that we just saw,
Mhm.
but it's not the right color. And again, what
What?
I mean by that is it's not the way it left the factory. But in my opinion, this car is done better than the last car. It's in better condition. It's better preserved. Um, it's got better looks, right? The thing looks right. It looks so good.
Hey, let me ask you a question. So the other car was gonna cut in, but I mean, trying to stop you
I was on a roll. I couldn't
from
help it.
talking is like trying to stop a wheel that's rolling down a hill. Um, so if you see this reflection here on the 56, it was very wavy. So I look at cars like this, not like this. I look at cars in this way. I'll try to find a reference point, like something that's
Mhm.
a straight line behind it. And if you can catch the reflection, you can see how straight the paint is or how straight the body panels are. And we don't know what's actually behind here, but this is much more uniform than the other car that we looked at. So I would believe that this car's had better body work done than the 56.
Yeah, this car has definitely had some attention lavished on it. And when you look underneath it, you can see it is just such a straight, nice, clean car.
Look at
Um,
this.
yeah, also with the certificate of authenticity. So
Far more
this car,
detail here, though.
there is. Now, the fact that it's a later car, the first one was a 56. I think the 56 probably has more intrinsic value than the last of the series. But this car is in better shape, better condition. It obviously has had more money spent on it recently. So as a result, this car sold for 85,000. Not
Mhm.
that far off the $82,356 of the first one. I
Oh,
think I'd rather have the 65 than the 56, but that's just me.
mhm.
But now, if we bail out of this one for a moment and go to the next car, the third car of the event. So this car at first blush, when I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, this looks like a project."
Mhm.
And I said that because
Because of
you
the
know
snow
it
tires?
it looks like it's got black steelies, and it turns out it doesn't. But it looks like it has black steelies. It looks like it's not done. Somebody took the overriders off, or maybe it never had them. Um, when you start to look a little further, like the interior is pretty awesome. I love the black watch tartan. Um, as it turns out, this car has been heavily reworked, and it was the personal car of a well-known Porsche enthusiast slash restoration person. And before they died, they hadn't completely finished this car. This was something they were working on when they passed away.
Mhm.
So this car, as a result, is worth a lot more than the first two cars, just because of who was working on it, who was building it, and the parts they put into it. In
Yeah.
my mind, it looks a little sparse. It looks unfinished. Um,
Well, there are holes still where a light fixture should have been. Hold on, let me
th-
get back to that. See, I mean,
yes.
with trim missing, and it's a shame
Yeah.
about that trailer hitch, isn't it?
Yeah. The Super Trap muffler, which was never, something I would have preferred, but this was built as sort of an outlaw, kind of a hot rod, and a lot of attention went into it. And as a result, the car sold for $100,000.
It did not.
Um,
It did not sell.
bid
It,
to.
hold on,
Uh,
sorry, I closed it. Yeah, it was only bid to 100.
So somebody
Mm.
thinks there's more money in it. I don't know that I agree with that. But again, I'm not like a diehard 356 guy. In the comments, they seem to know who this person was, and they were like, "Yo, wait a minute. I don't think you understand what this car is."
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I think that whether or not this car was appropriate at $100,000, I can't tell you. But I can tell you that the people that were commenting on it definitely seem to know who Clark Anderson is, and that was a big deal.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's some interesting stuff. Well, what about this last one that got up to 103?
So
And
this car, first off, it's stunning, right? I mean,
it
I
is.
don't know, I love this thing. But the second thing that I noticed is that John Wilhoit um, was responsible for this car, and John Wilhoit is a well-known Porsche restoration guy.
Hmm.
Um, and so $103,000 was the closing. Actually, it was bid to. So did this not sell either?
It did not sell.
Everybody's saying that the 356 market is soft. I guess because I don't track it that closely, I think $103,000 is pretty good. But these
Hmm.
guys are now saying, no, it's definitely soft. But what I figured out with these four cars is who touched them and who worked on them means everything, right? John Wilhoit's this guy that everybody seemed to know and I've heard of, even though I'm not a 356 guy.
Hmm.
And this thing's beautiful. Like this is I would like to own this. I straight up, I would like to own this car.
What do those look like? They're LED bulbs? I mean, or actually xenon, because there's a blue hue to them, or is it just my eyes?
No, I think they've been upgraded. I think those are LEDs in the back. I mean, Wilhoit restores cars, but he also updates them. He builds a total package, I guess, is the way I would explain it.
Hmm.
And so updating things that are important, like safety, not that driving around with sealed beams isn't fun, but you can't actually see at night if you're stuck in the dark.
Hmm.
I love this car, and I think at 103, I guess, oh wow, third brake light. Maybe the market is soft. Maybe this is supposed to be a $125,000 car or a $150,000 car, but not at the moment. Not at the moment. 356s are definitely down.
Yeah, not today, huh?
Not today.
Not today. Well, that's interesting. It's interesting to take a look at four all at once and just to compare them against each other.
And it's
And
worth noting. Just I've never done that when I've purchased a car. I look
yeah,
at each individual car that I come across, and maybe the tack to take next time is look at four cars at the same time and do a ridiculous amount of research so that I can start to compare and contrast to figure out what I like. I never thought of doing that, but then I you know,
then again, yeah,
356.
you make some kind of I would say irrational choices
Sometimes. A
sometimes.
lot.
You make quick decisions. Hey, you want to play a game?
Yeah, yeah. What are we gonna play?
All right, so we're gonna play a game that we call "It Closed That What," where John has 10 seconds or so to look at a car and guess what the car closed at. And we have a whole bunch today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 10. So, John, you're familiar with the format that we use normally. I'm trying another format, which I'm going to surprise you with at the end. But
Okay.
once I click start here, this thing's gonna go. Are you ready?
How many seconds do I have per car?
You've got about 10, 12, 15 seconds.
That's
Depends if I
plenty of
stop.
time.
Depends if I stop the video.
What am I
Ready?
gonna do with the rest of that time? Let's go. I'm ready. Here we go. Triumph TR6, it's a 70, 48,000 miles, overhauled, it's kind of clean. 23,495.
No way. Want a second guess?
Yeah. So it's cleaner, it's nicer than I thought. Let's call it 33,000.
Wow. It actually closed at 16,250. Yeah. Sorry, man.
Did the Miata kill TR6s too?
No, are you kidding? That's way more. Well, I sold my TR6 in 2011, and I got like $3,500 or $4,000 for it, and I had like enough parts to rebuild the car. That was my ad. I said all parts come with it to rebuild this car.
Nice.
Yeah.
16 grand seems cheap.
Yeah, I guess, but there are tons of them, man. There are just so many TR6s out there. I love my TR6. 20 years I had that thing. I actually loved it. We got to move on.
Okay, let's go.
Ready? Ready for the next one? Here we go.
Ooh, who buffed this car? It's a 10, it's a cab, 38,000 miles, minor damage. Oh God, that offends me. But it's a cab, so I'm gonna call it 38 on the nose.
Oh man. Oh
No?
no. Very good job. And we should just tell people, John doesn't know these cars. I mean, I don't share these with him ahead of time. So
yeah,
he's really doing
that
this
car,
out of the power of his brain. Ready?
I so badly want to
but
buff
it didn't
that car.
sell.
Yeah, because I think it's low, but because it looks like hell. Like who washed it with a Brillo pad? Why would you do that?
Did you saw that close up that I included here with the swirl marks? It was bad.
Yeah, this is offensive to me.
Yeah, well,
I would pay 37 just to rescue it, like just to take it away from them.
look at that.
All right, what else we got?
Okay.
An M3, 100,000. Angel Eyes, boo. Okay, it doesn't look bad. 14.
Yeah, you're really close. It was 11.6. It's sold.
Seems awfully cheap.
Yeah, it does. Now we're going to talk about cars that stays as sold. So when I sold actually all three of these cars I've owned. The TR6 I had a 911 and I had an M3. I sold my 911 during COVID, right as COVID was starting, for 10 grand, exactly what I paid for it 4 years earlier. So
the M3.
The M3, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but if I held on to it, it was a really nice car. Next, ready?
Next, let's go. Oh, my favorite, 43,000 miles, 12021, except an 09 accident. I don't know, $6,800.
Man, you're good today. You're doing really well. Yeah, it's 7 grand.
7, yeah, all right. That's all the money for these cars. That's all the money for that car.
Yeah.
I had one of these, and it was the cleanest, nicest, most perfectly sorted cabrio, new top, like everything. Interior was mint. The car was perfect. And
I've never seen it, John, so I can't vouch for it being perfect, but
it's gone. And I traded it, but I knew that 7 grand was the ceiling on that car. They don't get any money.
Let me ask you a question. What did you trade it for? And is that car currently operable?
Yes and no. Oh wait, no and no. The 944, and I got some money on top of the the guy gave me his 944 and some money, and no, it doesn't work. So who got the better deal? The guy who's driving my cabrio around because it's sunny out.
Yeah. All right.
Fun.
The next car you used to own. Actually, I believe we created these as cars that we used to own, this segment. So this is a car I used to own, and I bet it started every time it needed to. Here we go.
Oh, yes. 84, 47,000 miles. These cars have gone berserk. Let's call this one 48,000, $26,000.
Oh, you're off on this one. 10-2.
10-2?
Yeah. That's a deal, huh?
That's so cheap. I don't understand. Holy cow. Okay. That was a great car. I love that car. Maybe one of my favorites.
All right.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Well, did you like driving that more than this one?
Oh, 88 CRX, 194. Broken in seats, huh? Oh, man. 10 grand?
You're a little high. It's $8,001, but it's sold.
Okay. All the quarters rotted out. All the HVAC controls fell into the dashboard. They all did it. I mean, I love Barbados yellow as a color.
Yeah.
And I've driven these since because I had one like kind of contemporary to. I had mine in the mid '90s, but
Yours was
there's
silver,
a
right?
silver one. My dad bought it brand new. We put, I don't know, well over 200,000 miles on it, and I loved it. But I've driven one since, or a couple of them. They're still fun to drive, but they feel much flimsier than I remember when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They're super light. They're awesome. They're awesome. You said
Well,
we have more? Do we have
speaking
more?
of super light, what do you think about the next one?
Oh, this is doing my heart good. A 90 NA with 41,000 miles.
Back to Jay.
Ah, yeah, Mariner Blue. I love it. This was my car. Um, oh gosh, 47,000 miles, $14,000.
Not that far off. It was 12.5.
Plus five. Okay, well bought.
Yeah.
It has
And
a trophy.
it has a trophy. That car is a trophy.
I love, and I love that
Actually,
color.
wait a second. Actually, if my memory serves me correctly, the name Miata, I think, is from Old German and it means award. I think that's the story that I remember. And I'm a branding professional. I'm a naming expert. I do this for a living, and I believe that's the story behind the word Miata.
Do you think that the owner knew that when he took the
No,
picture with the
not a
trophy?
chance. Not a
No,
chance.
no.
All right, we have three more, but they're in a different format. So you're going to see the car for a couple of seconds. You're going to see four multiple choice price
Oh,
options, and you're going to pick one.
oh, I think I like this. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. And these are the first one's a car you owned. The second one is a truck I owned.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
All right. Let's start there.
Oh, Saab 93, 127,000 miles. It would have gone for 8560.
Yep. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay. 78 F250 XLT, but it's TMU. It would have sold for 21,050 because people are insane when it comes to trucks.
5,200. All right, the Vigan.
Ooh, a Vigan. Accident, Vigan. Vigans don't get money. I'm going to say it's 5.
You
No.
nailed it.
Did I? Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Okay, 70. Oh, we already knew that. 16,250.
Yeah. So, what'd you think of the format? Was it better or worse?
I like that format. I don't know if like I did pretty well, right? I got 3 of the 4, so
Yeah.
it's definitely easier. I look like less of a buffoon, which I'm all about, but also, um, yeah, it does make it easier. I don't know if I want to keep that. I don't mind the challenge of like just throw a number out of nowhere.
You did a decent job on the previous 7. I think you probably got close on half of them, and it is a really hard game. So if anybody out there thinks it's easy, I mean, like just pick a car off, bring a trailer, Haggerty, any auction site, and just try to guess.
Blindly throw a number at it with a limited amount of information.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I don't know. At least to me, it is.
Yeah. Speaking of throwing numbers out, so I just want to show everybody something that we've been talking about here. So this is a game where we play. We do exactly that, where we try to estimate the cost or the value of these cars, what they'll close at, and every day there are a couple of new auctions, or excuse me, new events. This one was called Living the American Dream, and these were all American cars. John, you want to describe these to us?
Yeah. So basically, with this event, and what an event is you take 4 cars from all the available auctions of that day, and you kind of put them together, and you and your buddies get together and try to assess the value of each one. You have a number of different tools in order to get there. You can look at comps, things that prices that other cars have sold for. You have the details of each individual car, and then whatever else you want to use, Voodoo, Black Magic, I don't know. But
Yeah.
what I did was I created this event, and it was 4 American cars, luxury, the big boats, right? White walls. I forget exactly what it's.
Prosperity.
Yeah, that one I regret adding, but that's fine. So anyway, um, we
What happened to the paint? Did it catch on fire?
the funny part of that car is it had already sold in like 2022, I believe, and it was
13,
so is that 2020? Yeah, or
13
2020.
grand. 14. It's almost 14.
Yeah, but it was really nice 5 years ago. And so when you went into the comments, and there might have been a language barrier, but basically what it said was, we bought this for a birthday present for my 84-year-old or 85-year-old grandfather, but
Oh,
he couldn't drive anymore, which I
uh,
thought it was a really odd present for somebody that's not allowed to drive anymore. Hey, we got you this car. Oh.
yeah.
So anyway, the car sat inactive. In other parts of the comments, it said that Grandpa started to sand the car down.
Okay, okay. All right. This is sad. This is sad.
It was kind of sad, and so again, I think there was a language barrier in like it wasn't well described, but the car
Hmm.
clearly has seen better days, and the seller kept saying, "Well, yeah, there's rust there now, but it's only because we cleaned the car and the rust came out."
Oh no.
So I think we were dealing with somebody that maybe wasn't a car enthusiast. My grandpa was a car enthusiast, but the grandson wasn't. Um, anyway, I really regret adding that car, and I was laughing at the whole exchange, but also like feeling bad.
I
Anyway, we can go
see.
to
I
the
see. In the
70
comment
Cadillac
section,
Fleetwood.
you referenced the other comments. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
All right.
because it was wild. It was just a wild situation. So anyway, we got a 33,000 mile 1978 Lincoln Continental Town Coupe, and I have another story for this car
Yeah. Tell me.
because we have, there's people behind the scenes that are building this platform, and one of them is a consultant that lives in India, and I don't know many details about this person. I know they're very nice. I know that they're very competent and really good at their job. They're apparently really, really good at bidding on classic American cars because
Yeah.
he nailed it 100%. Like he got the exact value of this 33,000 mile 1978 Lincoln. And all
Yeah.
I kept thinking in my head was, have you ever seen a 1978 Lincoln? Like it was really, really impressive. But he
Yeah.
nailed it, and he did really good on the Riviera as well.
You
So
know, wait a second. Hold on a second. But in the it's a round number. So all right, I get it. Yeah, it's and so these auctions, so like this platform, you cannot bid once the car gets within an hour of its closing time. You cannot bid. So you got to lock in your bids early. And these are real auctions that are happening on Bring a Trailer, and all the information is just ported in, and other platforms too. It's just carried into here, and you can just see it all from one spot. You don't need to go to other all the other platforms. Tell us about Hardtop 70 here.
I mean, I gotta say, so this car was kind of interesting from the standpoint that it was chauffeur driven for the first several years of its life,
Wow.
which is cool. I've never employed a chauffeur. I don't think I ever will. I may be employed as a chauffeur,
Hmm.
but anyway, this car, I don't
Wait,
know.
wait.
There's something
I just want to ask if you bought this car and had somebody drive you around, would you call your driver Tony Cadillac?
I would, no matter who it was, but they would have to wear the little hat, no
Yeah.
matter what. If I'm employing a chauffeur, you've got to wear the hat. It's a rule.
Hmm.
Um, 70s are not my favorite year of Cadillac, but there is something about this car that I really like, and I don't know if it's the lack of vinyl roof. I
Hmm.
definitely don't like the true spokes, but it's very clean and very honest, at least to my eyes. And they just don't have a huge following, right? This car closed at what, $15,000?
Something like that. Did not sell.
Seemed like a lot of car for the money, but something I'm not interested in.
Yeah. When was Jimmy Hoffa murdered, or
I,
when did he
well, he
disappear?
went. He went missing. He went. No, nobody knows. He went missing. I
Okay.
think it was 1974, if I.
Uh, all right.
But this would have been his era, right? Like I mean, not the 78 because he was already missing, but you know what I mean.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was interesting. So what you did with the 356s was interesting. You pulled them together here. Another theme. You united those four cars. Now I want to talk about another another event where we pulled together four similar cars, and the theme here was spring has sprung. And so the idea here was four cars that are ready for spring, top down, go out, have some fun. This car here sold. It was under $6,000. This is like under 50,000 miles, and it sold for almost nothing. And so, like when you look through the interior shots, leather looks good. I think these are handsome cars. I think they've aged super well.
Agreed. Agreed. The only flaw that I see in this car is that the front bumper, there's a piece of plastic that goes from one fog light to the other. And I've seen them missing on like 90% of these. I think it was like held in with friction. You just like kind of snapped it in.
Yeah.
That's the only flaw that I see on this car. And with the miles, the condition,
Yeah.
you know, even the color's a little loud for the car, in my opinion. However, for under $6,000, I would have bid on it if I saw it. Like if real time, if I had been paying attention, I probably would have thrown a bid in because I think I agree with you. These are a lot of cars for the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually one car for the money, but it's a lot of car.
Yeah, people understood. The interior, I think it looks good. I mean, of course, somebody in the comments went to see this car and they said they could not get the top to operate, and they drove it and they said they did not like how it drove. And I think that skewered a lot of the other comments. It soured a lot of what people were saying. And then there must have been some, snappy back and forth, because the seller had two of his comments marked as inappropriate. Let's see if we can find those, or maybe, non-constructive. So, I mean, within minutes of each other, exclusive studio garage got bent out of shape and went out for blood. So I don't know what he said, but it'd be really cool if you could unclick this and see what he said. Anyway, so somebody went to drive this thing, didn't really like how it drove, but
I couldn't put a finger on what was wrong with it either. It didn't say like
correct.
The car, pulls to the right, pulls to the left. Now I'm sure you have too. I've driven cars where I'm like, something's not right here. I don't know what it is, but they're usually not in this condition. I mean, this car, at least in my mind, because I looked at it pretty closely after the auction closed, and I was like, looks like it's all together and put together properly, but I don't know. Under $6,000 is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree on that. So I think that's a good example of when there's an auction that doesn't go right. What do you do? I mean, so I think for sellers, the advice I would give them is like, this is not the place to try to prove you're right or try to like call out a troll. Just don't do that, and just like go forward with your auction. Somebody throws shade on it, you can defend that and say, oh, actually, you said the top didn't open. The way it actually properly opens is you unlatch it with your hands and move it, 3 inches with your hand. And then, I mean, because that top, I believe, does not open. It's not power operated the entire time. I think you need to unclip it manually. There's something you need to do.
You got to push it. You unclip it and push it up. It's like one motion.
Speaking of one motion, what were we gonna say?
What's that?
What were we gonna say?
You got to put a reserve on it. Like for advice for people selling cars online, I mean, unless you just want to get rid of it, I think it's really important to put a reserve on stuff, because you don't want your $10,000 car selling for $5,000.
Yeah. So,
and auctions are all about who's in the room. So if you have an off day, it's nothing personal about your car. It's just nobody was around.
But what should that guy have done? Wait, hold on a second. But what should that guy have done? So at that point, he had no reserve. It was there. I mean, like, have Tony Cadillac do a shill bid for him? I mean, like, what were his options?
No, he ran out of options quickly, and maybe more people would have bid if he had addressed the concerns better, as you're saying, right? And the other part of it is, look, you're not in a position to become confrontational. The best you can do is explain your perspective and be nice to everybody, because obviously he alienated a whole bunch of people because the car sold for under 6 grand.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I would have bought that car for 6 grand.
Oh, me too. Me too. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at actually we're a little short on time. So I want to talk about this Alpha Spider. So let's throw that up here. And it's this 74 Series 2 2000 Spider Veloce. They were all Veloces at that point, I believe. 70,000 miles shown. This is a pretty clean car. Do you like these?
I do like these. I don't like them as much as the boat tails, but for the price, I'll forego the boat tail. You know what I mean? Because the value of the boat tails is so expensive that this is the next best thing.
Well, price is why I picked this, because I think that this is overpriced for this car, not for this car specifically, but for this generation of car. And my rationale is the boat tails, I think, are much more beautiful. Here I am paused on a photo of the car's brake fluid, but I think the earlier cars are much more pretty. Go back to the Giulias and Giuliettas; those are a completely different class of car. Certainly not nowhere near as modern as this. It's an old-fashioned, quote, old-fashioned sort of car, and I love that. You know, I own a Giulietta, so. But these cars, I think, don't have the same charm as the Series 1 cars. I don't think they have the practicality as the later cars. And I actually think the later cars, 80s and 90s, I think they look better. They don't have this beautiful bright work, this large Alfa Romeo badge, but I think they're handsome. The black bumpers I do not care for, but that's my opinion. I think the later cars look a little bit better. The earlier cars look way better. That's where I'm coming in.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. As a matter of fact, I agree with you. I think that the early 90s, the last of the line, very, very pretty, right? I think they integrated the bumpers really well. I like the taillight treatment. Yeah, and 1974 just wasn't a good year in general anyway.
Not for Jimmy Hoffa.
That's right. Jimmy Hoffa had a bad year. But $25,000 when you can buy a boat tail for double might be the reason why these cars,
I
I
don't
think
I don't think boat tails are double.
no, you don't think they're going for 50?
I don't think
Okay.
so. I don't think right now. Maybe 2 years ago they could have been, but I think right now.
Okay.
This car, I am not a fan of red in general, but I thought this looked classy. I thought this looked really good. I think it's been resprayed. You know these cars, right?
I do know these cars, and I like this car. I'm always fascinated by the early 1990s in Porsche history because they were about to go belly up. They
Hmm.
had no money. They went from a boom to a bust like overnight. And so in
What was the
1990,
cause of that? What caused that?
um, I think there was a recession, the savings and loan debacle, the Iran Contra affair. I don't know how in depth we want to go here, but a lot of different reasons. One of them was product development was kind of slow. So you had the 911, which was still selling okay. The 964 had come out, and people were like, "Yeah, I get it. It's a 911." The 928 was dying. The transaxle cars like this were very long in the tooth. It was just a bad time for Porsche. And so when I see a 1990, 91, 92, that era, these are practically hand-built cars. And I like to think that they had nothing else to do. So they were like, hey, Hans, why don't you go build that door panel?
Hmm.
Um, but these cars are fascinating to me from the standpoint they weren't designed to be a convertible, but I think they look good without a top. And Let me see. This car for the money, you're in a Porsche convertible, and I think it's a good looking car. I think they're fun to drive. They're not fast, but you're in a Porsche for under 30 grand.
All right, John.
Yeah.
You're in this facility here. Somebody says take the keys to either this 944 or that Alpha Spider. Which are you taking?
Oof, that's a good question.
Let's see if are there other shots of that car? Oh, it's not the same car that sold. Look at it's the same wheels.
It's got to be the same car.
It's got
It's
to
the
be.
same car.
I'm
It's
sorry.
this.
Let's look at who's the
You think
seller
it's two
here.
different places with the same curtains?
No. Okay, it's AJL 1988, and geez, you're absolutely right. Even these photos. All right, I'm gonna pretend I didn't just make
That's
that
fine.
realization.
That's fine. I would love at a later date for you to tell me what you thought I said or what I was saying. Um, I would take the 944. I would take the 944. For a drive. I don't know. I would love to drive I've never driven the convertible version.
Do your
I can
kids
imagine that it would be a very entertaining drive.
do your kids fit in the back seat of this? I mean,
No, no, not really. My kids have never been in the back seat of mine.
okay.
It's Yeah, for 27 grand. I mean, for the same price, I mean, that's probably a better way to ask that question, right? Would you rather have a 74 Alpha or a 90 um, 944?
Yeah.
I think I'd go 944 personally.
Same. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So that ends that. We're coming up on an hour here. Do you have a few more minutes?
I have a few more minutes, sure.
All right. I just wanted to. Oh, do you want to play? What is it?
Yeah, I do. I love
All
playing
right.
games.
Okay. So I'll give you one hint. I've got one word for you, Benjamin. American cars.
Not plastics? Okay.
All right. So this is going to cycle through. Tell me if you can guess.
I mean,
Any
I
guess?
think it's a 66 Caprice. Maybe it's a 67 or an
No,
Impala. They're the same.
it's an Impala.
It's an
Yeah, it's a
Impala.
70 Impala. So you didn't even need to see all the photos. Okay.
Yeah, I think I almost bought that car. Is that from Connecticut?
Don't
Doesn't
know.
matter.
Don't know.
I almost bought one of like that car, that color combination when I was 16. So that would have been a long time ago. It's probably not the same car.
Yeah, it's probably not the same car. Okay, we have one more. Here it is.
It's a Ford. It's definitely a Ford. Is it a Lincoln Mark 7? No, 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 no. No, it's a Riviera. It's a
It
Riviera.
is a
It's an
Riviera.
85.
You are good.
84.
It's an 85.
Okay.
85 Riv, yeah?
Oh, it's funny. I had it way wrong. The mirrors were throwing me off. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I got to be honest with you. I kind of love these. I love the body style. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I do.
I
I
do
like
too.
those.
I do too. Do you remember that girl in high school had a convertible Riv?
I do remember that
Yeah.
clearly. Yeah,
Yeah. That was a cool car. That was very, very cool.
that
The
might have
next
been the
one,
coolest car in the parking lot in like an offbeat sort of way.
yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know, like
think
not a muscle car, not like anybody pretending to be fast. That was just a cool oddball car.
yeah. In the convertible Rivs, I don't know how many of them there were. I think that was a pretty rare car.
Super rare. It was made by, I think it was made by ASC. So it was like they came off the assembly line and then somebody chopped the top and then they went back to the assembly line. They were very limited production. Um, I would own one. I would definitely own one if the right car came up.
Yeah. Um, let's close out with this. I want to ask you, we talked a lot about cars that you've owned, right? So we talked about the Miata, we talked about the 944, which you currently own, that you had a Saab 9.3, the Supra, the CRX, the Cabrio, things like that. Out of all the cars that you've owned and are gone, which one would you want back? Because there are cars sometimes that we say, I'm glad that car is out of my life. And there are cars
It,
that sometimes you're like, I don't care, I'm getting rid of this. And then like a year later, you're like, ooh,
Cabrio. This
where's
is
my,
going to sound so dumb.
yeah.
Automatic 2-liter plain Jane 2002 Volkswagen Cabrio. It
Mhm.
had, when I sold it, it had 78,000 miles on it. When I bought it, it had 64,000. It was flawless. I mean, I
What
did a
color?
lot of preventative stuff, and I caught up on,
What color was it?
maintenance. What color was it? Bright red.
Bright red.
Bright
Okay.
red, black leather interior, nothing done to the suspension, slow as molasses.
Leatherette, or was it real leather in the
It
cabrio?
was it was real leather, and it had the sports seats, so it was comfy.
Okay.
Um, I think the reason why, and I'm telling you, like, I've had cool stuff. I want the Cabrio back. I regret selling it, but probably because I took my kids everywhere when they were at the perfect age. We would just jump in the car, go get ice cream. We would go to the beach. We would go to the pool every day in the summer in
Yeah.
that car.
John doesn't work, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen. Just so
I
people know.
mean, while I was working, I let my 7-year-old drive to the pool. Um, yeah. Anyway, it was. Yeah, that's fair. That's awkward. I miss that car so much, and my family doesn't even miss that car. Like they're like, "What? Oh, I don't care."
We had that. That's what they say.
Yeah,
We had that.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really notice or care. But I will own, and I don't even want like a similar car. I want that car back. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2002 Volkswagen Cabrio.
All right. Good. That's okay. That's I would
How
if I
about
were
you?
you,
Yeah.
I would fix the transaxle issue or whatever it is with the 944 and go see if that guy will take that car plus $1,000 and get your
His
cabrio back.
his his wife threatened my life that if I ever came back with the 944, she'd kill me. So a
Okay.
lovely lady. She's wonderful, but she was like, "Don't ever freaking come back here with that car." And I was like, "Okay, we're good."
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, cool. So if I had to think about the same question, like what car would I have would I want back that I sold? Um, Sometimes with time, things feel different to you. I really wish I didn't sell the M3.
Really? Okay.
For similar reason to you, it was a cabriolet, but I remember taking the kids places when they cared to go places with me, and we would go out like for these like midnight drives, like on the weekend. If it were like 10 or 11 o'clock at night in the summer or whatever, I just say, "Hey, you guys want to go for a drive?" And they absolutely loved it. So it was just fun. Put the top down, warm summer night, and just head out into the country and drive for a couple of hours. And but
Would you ever listen to Pink Moon by Nick Drake?
I would tell the kids about that all the time.
That was my favorite. That is my favorite piece of advertising.
It is mine too. It's on my desktop here. Hold on, you keep talking. I'm gonna find a few here.
Cue it up because that is my favorite. That's why I bought the Cabrio. Like hands down, a 20-year-old commercial. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. It was like 5 miles from my house. I asked Liz, my wife, and she was like, "Yeah, let's go look at it," which she never says. And we went and I bought it, and I had that CD in the car the whole time I owned it because what's better than that? It's my favorite piece of advertising of all time. It's such a perfect commercial.
Yeah, I know it's on it's on my computer here. Hold on. I just want to show it to people. It is hard to find
I can
online.
tell you more. Yeah, I bought that Volkswagen. It had been sitting for 5 years. I bought it from the original owner who got it as a high school graduation present because I think that's how all cabrios start life.
Yeah.
And she kept it for, I don't know, 20 years. And when I went to go look at it, she had a 5-year-old yelling at her, a 3-year-old clutching her, and a baby on her hip. And she's like,
Mm,
"I'm never going to drive this car again, am I?" And I'm like, probably not. And so we
yeah.
talked for like 5 minutes, and she was like, "You should have this car." So she sold it to me, and it was great. I
I
texted her like a year. What's that? Did you find
I
it?
cannot find it. You want to keep talking?
So I texted her like a year later. I'm like, if you and your husband want to take it out, like I have it running and driving. It's the car's perfect, and you're welcome to it anytime. And she never responded because apparently that's a serial killer thing to do. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't think she took it the way I intended it.
Well, yeah, that could happen. I mean, like, I think I would talk to anybody about cars all day long. I mean, like even strangers. I mean, that tends to happen to people like us.
Yeah.
We talk to strangers about cars. I'm really sad that I can't because I it I have it because I will watch it occasionally, and it is my favorite piece of advertising too. I just
I'm not
absolutely.
surprised by this. I am totally not surprised by this. This is
Anyway,
parallel lives once again.
yeah, I can't find it. I've let you down. I'll find it for the next episode. Um, shoot. But for a copywriter, which I am, it's odd that I like my favorite commercial ever is a piece that does not have a single word in it.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
point.
And on that
All right. Well,
bombshell,
we will definitely queue up that video for next time. And
yeah,
in the meantime, I don't know. I guess that's about it, right?
that's it. That's a wrap.
All right. Well, we will see everybody, anybody, nobody next week,
Yeah.
and we'll
Speed
do this
safely.
again.
Bye.
See you later.